Hi, everybody. Those of you who are here, I hopped on just a couple minutes early because I couldn't wait. I was literally watching the clock count down and I just hit go. I'm just taking a look over here at the chats, making sure you guys can add your chats, add your questions. So I think a couple of you are here. So those of you are who are here and have subscribed, which means you can uh, write a chat in the chat box. If one of you wouldn't mind just going ahead and sending me a chat, I just want to make sure I can see those before we formally get started here in about 2 minutes. Hello, thank you, Deanna. We're up and running. And can you hear me well? Can you see me okay? Somebody just say yes or no. Oh, that's right. There's also a 30-second delay. I'll explain this again, but I decided to put a bit of a delay on how often you can make a comment just so that I can read them because sometimes these comments go so quickly. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and start. We only have a couple here. I never know how. Thank you. Thanks for your comment. You can see me, you can hear me. This is always so interesting if any of you have done, live streams on YouTube or Instagram. It's just so no matter how many times I do it, which I've only done it a handful of times, it's so disconcerting because you want so much to be able to see everybody's face like a Zoom call and you just can't. So I'm holding the intention that you're all just sitting here right with me and I'm going to pretend that you are because really actually you are. So, welcome to Ask Me Anything. My name is Meaghan O'Leary, which I know you know. I am a psychic medium and spiritual counselor in practice in Seattle, Washington. I've been working with clients and students for over 20 years now. And in addition to psychic readings and mentoring and spiritual counseling, I am also a certified shamanic practitioner. So I work with people, helping them with their energy, with soul retrieval ceremony, medical intuition. And I am also a certified past life regression hypnotherapist. Um, as all of these years have gone on, I love this work so much. And I love working with all of you so much that I just keep adding a bit more to my toolkit so that we can find all sorts of new ways to bring awareness and insight and healing. So tonight, these Ask Me Anything segments are pretty unrehearsed. They're meant to be really casual. It's meant to just be really as if I were sitting down with you and you just had the opportunity to ask me whatever you want. Sometimes for those of you who might have worked with me one-on-one or in a workshop or class, there's not always an opportunity to ask everything you want to ask. There's not always time for those question and answer segments. Sometimes even in a reading, if you've worked with me, you go away from the reading or the healing session and think, "Oh, I wish I would have asked that." Well, so this is your opportunity. And if you're watching this and you don't know who I am or this is the first time you're hearing me speak, I thought these Ask Me Anything segments would be helpful for someone who doesn't know me or isn't familiar with how I work, because it can give you a taste of that. And so, like I said, these segments are unscripted, they're casual, they're spontaneous. I tend to just go for as long as the energy seems to be supported, and then I wind us down and tell you good night when we're done. And so, even though this is casual and spontaneous, it doesn't mean you can't ask the deep stuff or the hard stuff or the real stuff, because I can absolutely hold space with you all in that. So I'm just going to let this circle that we're creating have its own momentum. I took a few minutes before we started earlier this evening to open up to our spirit guides, to our higher selves, to soul plans, to any of those spirits who have passed on who want to come forward with messages. And so I'm opening it up to all of it, to your input, your questions, to messages that come from our non ordinary support allies. And I will do my best to uh, keep my eyes over on the comments and make sure I'm looking at your questions. I don't always get to every question. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'll mention it again. You might have already discovered, but in order to leave a comment that I can see, it will be necessary for you to subscribe to my channel. And the reason I did that is I was wanting to um, have some bit of boundary setting. This is open. This is an open YouTube segment, but for the questions and the answers, this is still to me and to our non-ordinary allies, to spirit. This is spirit work, and so I just added that extra step. So if you're wanting to actually connect with me in the chats, you will need to subscribe, which of course I deeply appreciate, particularly if you stay subscribed. I'm so new to YouTube, but it's such a powerful medium and it's such a easy and great way for us to share. So hope you will stay subscribed. The other thing to know is and you can see this probably on your monitor, there's a 30-second delay between each question or comment that you can make. And I did that for me because sometimes this comments just are coming so quickly, and I'm doing my own moderating. So it's just me looking back and forth. And so I wanted to slow things down a little bit on my end. So before I get into the question, ask me anything segment, I always do this, and I think maybe this is my sixth time I've done this. I think ask me anything. I'm going to take a minute to guide you to get centered and grounded, to guide you in reviewing in your own heart and mind your intention for sharing this time, whether you stay on with us the whole time or whether you're here and you take off. Again, this is sacred space. It's loving space, it's easy space, it's relaxed, but it's sacred. And so I find the information is ever so much better. My ability to hear who's coming forward to speak to you is so much better when I set that intention and that prayer. So I'll head into that in a minute. And before I do, just take a moment in your own internal process and in your own heart, and and let yourself clarify internally what you're here for. Maybe you joined this ask me anything because you were hoping to connect with someone in spirit, or maybe you've got a question you really want me to answer. Whatever's your reason, or maybe you don't know and you're just seeing how it goes. I would love for you to just settle in a bit into your conscious intention. It's always good to have an intention when you step into a circle, when you step into spirit work. And that doesn't prevent wonderful, unexpected things to come to you. You don't have to know every single reason why you think you're here, but it's helpful to be grounded in at least one intention. So, and it can be quick. Intentions should be simple, they should be clear, and they're personal. So, we'll move into that prayer, some centering and grounding, and then we'll see what your questions are. So go ahead, and I think we're several minutes into this, so I'm guessing that we've got a few people here. So I'll go ahead and do the centering and grounding. So, and I'm going to do it with you. So I would like for you to just take a moment and really step into this time if you haven't yet. Let your outside world go, if possible, as much as possible. Let the day go as much as possible and step into this time of healing and of learning that is just for you. So, in addition to whatever words you might hear me say, know that when you join me here in this space, you're also receiving healing energy, you're receiving clearing work if you need it. There's a lot going on beyond just the words, and so and that's intentional from me. I'm hoping any of you who spend any amount of time sharing this time together, when you leave and return to your own world, I'm hoping for you that this has impacted you positively, whether you commented or not. I'm hoping that this time that you spend here brings to you internal clarity, inspiration, answers or wisdom. And that might just come through your own knowing. Even if you don't participate with us, verbally on the chat, you might get a download. So I welcome you all, and I welcome you all to step in with me into the medicine wheel, letting the outside world go just for this time that we're together. It's helpful for you to be in your body. And a really quick and easy way to do that is just take a deep breath into your belly, cleansing exhale. And again, nice, slow, deep breath into the belly. And on the exhale, lengthen your spine, roll your shoulders back, relax your shoulders. And now begin to move your awareness all the way down to your feet. Take a moment to feel your feet on the ground wherever you are. Take a moment to appreciate Mother Earth beneath your feet, whatever that means for you, however you connect with the natural world, earth and air and fire and water. Just take a moment quickly now to go down to the soles of your feet. There are energy centers in the soles of your feet. And another word for that is one you've heard, I know, chakras. We have hundreds of chakras, and there are some lovely main ones in the soles of your feet. And that's the conduit and the channel for earth energy to come up into your body, inform your body, heal your body, support and protect your body, and then also circuit down out into Mother Earth. And so I always like to remind clients, your physical body is made up of all of the very same things Mother Earth uses to make everything that you see. So right away, if you're living and breathing and have a beating heart in your chest, you're part of that natural world, whether you're in a high rise or outdoors. So, down at your feet, move your awareness to the soles of your feet and imagine those energy centers opening up. Imagine that you are aware of and you can feel your a deep appreciation for Mother Earth and her gifts, her nourishment, her healing, her love, her clearing, her protection, her stories that comes up into the body, up through the meridians in the legs, into your root chakra, which is kind of right where you're sitting, wherever that energy is needed. It knows what to do. Your body knows how to receive that support. You don't need to make that happen. You just can help it by becoming more aware of it. So once you can really feel your feet on the ground, now I'd love for you to bring your spirit in. An easy way that I like to do that, that some of you have heard before, is just to imagine that you're moving up and out your crown chakra, the top of your head, out into that part of you that is eternal, that part of you that has that infinite perspective. Again, whatever that means for you is fine. I just want you to remember that you are also more than your physical body. So I'd love for you to connect in some way with that right now, in whatever way is possible. And then imagine that you're pulling the grace and wisdom from your inner self or higher self or soul self, whatever name you give to that. Pull that down into your heart and let that soul fill your heart and clear your heart and open your heart and lighten your heart. And then you can see yourself stepping into your heart. And as I always like to say, that's the perfect place to be to participate in work like this. So setting an intention, and then moving into your heart while you're grounded in your body is just a really lovely posture to place yourself in so that what you do hear and what you do receive always serves your highest good. It's important for that. It's possible to get distracted by information or energies that just don't really serve you. And this preparation is important to take a minute to do this, so that then when we get into the communication and the sharing of the wisdom and the messages, it's good stuff. We want good stuff when we're doing this stuff. So when you feel like you're in your heart and you're ready, just take a moment while I say a prayer, and just get considered with your intention. Aho, Creator, Mother, Father, God, all that is, spirit guides, allies, ancestors, power animals, thank you. Thank you, all of you, for joining us in this circle tonight. Creator, we ask that the messages and the wisdom and the fellowship that we share in this circle serves our highest good and our greatest joy, serves the next 7 generations and this preceding 7 generations. We welcome you. There is always room for you in this circle. Aho. Okay, so let me take a look here at comments. Oh, so good to see all of you. Hey, those of you who are able to make comments, and again, a reminder, you can make comments by subscribing. I know it's an extra step, but I just kind of do that, as I said before, as a little bit of a nice filter so that I don't want just anybody driving by making a comment, because this is special work, as I said. So um, I'd love to see in the chats where you're watching from. I'd love to get. I'm in Seattle. I'd love to get an idea of where you are in the world. So, anyone want to make a comment? Reno. Oh, hi, Reno. Orange, California. Lovely. Okay. Audrey, you keep seeing 444. I'll get to that. Oh, hi, Carissa. Oh, and we've got some young ones, some children here too. Seattle. Nice. Okay. So, first question. The question is, I keep seeing 444 many times a day. Too many to seem like coincidence. My question is whether you ascribe meaning to this. Add any message from spirit about this would be appreciated. Okay. So, You know, I've what I'm gonna do is I'm just, gonna tune right into you, because there's a lot of different meanings and interpretations that people have ascribed to seeing those numbers, and I think they can all be valid, but I think I'm just gonna see if I can get a bead on perhaps what it means for you. First thing I'm curious for you is it something you're generating? Because we can do that. We can affect our material world and make parking spots or make numbers show up. So my question psychically for you is this something you're generating, out picturing and noticing? Or is it something coming from without you, meaning a guide or an ancestor? And that's my sense for you. Is this is this is ooh, just got a chill from God, I'm stammering because I just got a whoosh of energy. So 444 for you is a message from one of your guardian spirits, is what I just heard. Caution. Caution, not in a sense of fear or worry or concern, although caution sounds concerning to me. Okay. This spirit presence says for you, when I am able to get your attention with that number sequence, I just need you to take a breath and to slow down and get in your body, look around, so that you're coming up into kind of a crossroads of experience in that moment or following that moment, and I'm asking you to pay attention. So caution is perhaps a better way to put it would be to consider. Take a moment to stop and consider. This present says for you all is well. It is you could think of me as a navigator. I'm a helpful navigator. I ping you when you're leaving your body at a time when you should be in your body. It's meant to bring you comfort. It's meant to also remind you you're not driving this vehicle, you're not driving this life alone. You've got someone on it helping you. Someone meaning this lovely spirit. Um, to me, I'll just share with you this presence feels this guardian spirit. I think that's what they called themselves. To me, the feeling is a bigness of spirit. That guardian feeling to me almost reminds me of how angelic presences feel. They just have this bigness. I don't know how else to describe it. And this one for you feels very yellow and gold, very yellow, like lovely morning sun, but diffuse, but enormous. Yeah, I feel this presence perhaps might describe themselves as being aligned with that family of spirits that vibrate with what we call the beings we call archangels. So lovely, lovely light energy. So I hope that was helpful. Okay, oh my goodness, I better get on the ball here. Washington, D.C. Hello, Washington, D.C. Visiting. Okay. A friend of mine, here's the question. Next question. A friend of mine told me a Colombian shaman recently said that it is the final hour for the Condor and the Eagle prophecy to reach fruition. Can you shed any light on what he means by that? I'll tune in on it. I myself do not know what that means. I am a shamanic practitioner and I have been trained. However, I'll just take a minute here to explain what that means in terms of what I am able to offer you all in my shamanic work. So, um, I I call myself a shamanic practitioner to differentiate myself from calling. I don't consider myself a shaman. To me, that would be a person who, within their community or tribe or group, they have agreed to identify this person within their own belief system that this is a medicine person. I consider myself a shamanic practitioner practicing cross cultural earth medicine healing modalities and practices and ritual in a contemporary way. And so, um, I don't I am not familiar with the condor and the eagle prophecy. I I tend to, um, after all my years of training for many years now, I tend to just talk to the earth and the elements and nature rather than, keeping abreast of what perhaps, other people are talking about or aware of. So, gosh, I don't know what that is, but if I tune in on your behalf and get a sense of that, I hear the word transition. I hear the word transition of civilization. I hear the phrases opportunity for large numbers of community to reach higher levels of understanding and patience and compassion. So to me, whatever might be that the Colombian shaman's interpretation of the prophecy, that I don't know, but to me, I'm getting the sense in this moment for you that the prophecy speaks to opportunity and, opportunity to have the transition be light-filled and going up in terms of evolution. Um, I just heard, um, and really, there is no other choice. So, if we look at probabilities, say, where our future as a planet could go one way, evolution and continued growth and existence, or the other way, as two extremes, not continuing and not existing. My sense is that, I guess, of course, logically, we would think it could go either way. Those are 2 ways it could go. From this intelligence that seems to be coming in and talking to me in answer to your question, um, he says, "Not possible." He says, "Not possible for you as a species to discontinue yourselves. You're too full of love. As a whole, you are. It's not possible to end, it's only possible to evolve." And he says, however rocky that path is. He says, easy words, however, they are meaningful, and that is patience and compassion and allowance. Those are the vehicles we ride to the evolution. Okay. Next question. Hi, Megan. I am doing my best to achieve a job in the industry I desire. Is there anything more I can do or work on to prepare for the role I desire? So I'm going to address that, open that up psychically. But I want to stop here and say something I've said in other Ask Me Anythings, and that is, for all of you watching, um, Eh, I am reading individuals' questions for sure. However, these circles tend to bring forward messages that are not only meant for whomever asked the question, but they're meant for all of you. There are nuggets of meaning in everything that I'm being asked to say. And so if you're here, there's a reason why you're here. Even if I don't get to your question or you don't ask a question or you think a question may not directly apply to you, stay open. And you might be surprised. It might elicit a download. You might have an aha moment. You might have a feeling of, oh, warmth and grace, and you don't know why. So I love how things like this work. I've seen it probably hundreds of times in either an online meeting like this or a class or even an individual session. If you're hearing it, there's something for you. And I say this all the time too, and it's so true. Once I kind of get up and rolling, like I feel like I am really connected to all of you who are here in an energetic way, just for this time we're together. Um, I I um, I can feel that even though you might not know all of the people who are here right now, live, you're all connected. There's always a reason why a certain group comes together, and I'm always fascinated by that. And certainly in a venue like this, we'll never know consciously, but keep that in your mind as if you stay with me and continue to listen. You're kind of with your brothers and sisters here for a bit. And I will also say, if you're listening to this as a replay, it's past the live viewing. Same thing applies. I have found the energy of these circles that I'm calling Ask Me Anything, they stay activated. If this is in the future and you have found yourself here and you're watching this, your spirit wanted you to hear something. There's something for you here. So, okay. I better come back to your question. Okay, back to the question again quickly. I am doing my best to achieve a job in the industry I desire. Is there anything more I can do or work on to prepare for the role I desire? Well, for you, um, the person who asked this, the first thing I hear is you are doing it. And to me, I feel like that's not just, kind of a metaphor. I feel like that's actual. I feel like whatever you are filling your day with, you wanna understand that you ca here's the subtlety or the distinction I'm being given for you. You can go ahead and shift your thinking from, "When is this gonna happen? When will I get to do this?" into, "Oh, it's has started. This is what it looks like right now." So you can at least you can at least start investing your conscious energy toward how do you want to just grow it versus that feeling of twitchiness, like, oh, I know what I want to do, but when will it ever start? I'm hearing you have started. Don't put that stop sign in front of you. You've started, so done. Check, that's done. Now the question becomes, where do you turn, and what do you do, and what do you activate to just have this grow? And I keep hearing community. I keep hearing that something else for you to remember is absolutely you'll need to decide action steps to take to show up to this career, this service that's already started. However, please remember the community who needs you is magnetized to you. So that's there's some metaphysical physics here for you to understand that the thing you're called to can expand in your service and in your work and in your career. This desire, some of why you feel it as desire is you can feel those in community saying, can you come here and help me? So um, this to me looks like, were I in your shoes and I was wondering what might be a specific action step to take right now, I just feel like in whatever way you can step into community. I mean, even this that we're doing counts. So whether you did something online, whether you did something um, at a healing fair, whether you did something offering a class, this is no longer when will it happen, when will it start? It's how do I continue to build it? I also just get a little sense that you are no slouch in your own psychic ability, and you can be unafraid to, if you don't want to formally bill yourself as a psychic medium, at least share and make known the depth of your intuitive ability. Intuitive intuitives are so helpful. And yes, I am one of those who believes that everyone is intuitive. However, not everyone chooses to practice. We might all know how to put a Band-Aid on a wound, but I doubt very few of us would, venture at an appendectomy unless we've gone to medical school. And so, um, not everyone wants to feels called to be intuitive professionally. And so you have that, and you can come out of hiding about that. I just heard, let that let that grace. You have a particular grace, I'm hearing, of how you deliver messages from spirit, and it's beautiful. There are people who really would love to hear the way you deliver messages from spirit. Hmm. That just made me feel healed. Okay, I hope that is helpful. Let me move on. I don't know what this means. The question is, quick funny question, CR or BR? I don't know what that means, but I'm very intrigued. Um, okay. I'm forgive me for having this lag of turning. I don't know how to do this, and I want to make sure I'm seeing as many comments as possible. Um, okay, here's a question. Am I supposed to be in Capitola right now, working at this current job? I feel out of place. What should I do to feel aligned? So I'm just going to go just straight psychic on you. So, am I supposed to be in Capitola right now? I hear yes. I don't feel this is your forever location, but I hear yes. Particularly, there's something significant to me for you that I'm hearing about the next 8 to 14 months. You may find the 8th month from now to the 14th month from now is a type of a revolving door where it, all of the opportunities and the clarity and the ability come together to start to move you to where the next location is. But for now, you can understand this current situation and location is it's almost acting like a oh, what's the word? Doormat. In the way of, like, you can kind of rub in your feet, getting your bearings, getting your traction, getting your position, and then you're gonna be ready for that starting gun, and you're gonna run. So for now, you're okay where you're at. I'm trying to find the question again. Here we go. Um, and when you ask, "What should I do to feel aligned?" It's kind of a, opposite answer to what you might think. It's almost like you can for now let go of the feeling, the effort of trying to feel aligned. How you're showing up for about 80% of the time is actually working. The thing that you're noticing, what does not feel in alignment, merely is you picking up on that future change and anticipating it, and you're feeling the energy start to build up around that. And so I'm hearing from one of your guides, what helps you feel aligned immediately is to trust that for right now you're in the right place at the right time. Expect more clarity, more information, and more opportunity to make change about 8 to 14 months from now. You don't need to feel like the most grounded, 100% centered, aligned being to be aligned enough. So maybe you can perhaps um, insert a little bit of lightness of being there, anticipation. I know this might sound like this is coming from me. A suggestion for you is one way to get into that a little lighter vibe around a situation that you know isn't forever, but you don't know what's next. Um, do your gratitudes. I know you hear that a lot, but I tell you, taking a moment to really identify, 5 areas in your life that you are deeply, honestly, and truly appreciating. That's such a quick energy switch and change. I would do that. I'm hearing you're far more flexible than you think. Your alignment doesn't have to be one thing or one feeling. It can change. It can be different degrees. And I'm hearing you can lighten up about your with yourself a bit around this as well. And for more's coming. I'm hearing grace is coming. Grace meaning your clarity, your inner knowing. It's coming. It's just not yet. Not quite the right time yet. Okay, what else? Maybe I need to take a breath. Does anyone else need to take a breath? I'm gonna take a breath. Okay. I think what I'll do is, a couple more questions, and then I got a bit of a, I call them headbutts. I know that's not a very elegant term, but sometimes I get psychic input right here and it just hits me like this and it's just clear. And today, as I was preparing for meeting with you tonight, I got a really clear headbutt, as I call it, that a few of you participating were in need of some release work and cord cutting work. And I recalled a shamanic practice that um, I learned from my teacher, and in subsequent years, I've seen this ritual show up in many different cultures, and it's called different things. I just call it the stick breaking ritual, but it'll take about 5 or 10 minutes, and it will involve some shamanic drumming, some shamanic rattling, and it's I hope you'll stay around for it because I think I'll insert that kind of in the middle of our evening tonight, and then I'll return to one more bank of questions before we wind down. But I know I've billed this as Ask Me Anything, but I just felt so called that those of you joining us might really appreciate releasing. something, and I'll walk you through it. It's very simple, and we'll start it here in a few minutes, but I just wanted to bring that forward, and I hope that, you'll stay around for that and you'll like it. I love it. Okay, so a couple more questions, and then we'll move into the breaking stick ritual. Oh, I love that. One of you wrote, "Ooh, yummy drumming, bring it on." I know. Gosh, whenever I hear shamanic drumming, I just, where is it? Where is it? Oh, yes, for releasing. Okay, good. Thank you for your commenting that you would like that. Okay, here's a question. How can I heal my body? Should I be concerned? So I won't read the name of the person and maybe God, I so I'm so still learning YouTube. I don't know if any of you can actually see the chats everyone's including. Um, but mostly I'm trying to avoid saying people's names, but anyway, I just share that with you because someone's asking a specific person's asking, and so I'm going to tune into that person's first name. I don't think I know who they are. I'm not familiar with the name. Um, but for me, when I'm doing readings, I will often, almost always, ask for a first name if the client or student is comfortable sharing that, because for me, I that's the energy I can ride to, that's sort of the permission slip I get to have to just for a time tune into that person, and first names are from what does it for me psychically. Some psychics want birth dates. Some psychics want other information. It's for whatever reason. For me, it's always been I just need a first name. So, this question about the her body is being asked by a specific person. So I'm going to tune in on that person. How can I heal my body? Should I be concerned? But oh boy, I tell you what, I just heard from a chorus of your guides, all different ones of you saying, "Listen to this. This answer is for you too." Okay, how can I heal my body? Should I be concerned? Okay, first of all, across the board from non-physical guide spirit guides saying, "Please, if there's one thing you can do to help the health of your physical body, no matter what healing story you are in, no matter what diagnosis you've been offered from medical practitioners," I'm hearing so many are like, pushing the yes button to this. If there is if you wanna know the number one most powerful thing you can do to support the health of your physical body is, as much as possible, limit the concern. Now, I understand as humans, there can be concern, and it can be scary to have a symptom or receive information from a doctor. I get it. And I don't believe this your guides are asking you to just fake it and not act concerned. However, they are asking if you're not able to shift out of concern into, "Oh, I'm curious. I'm open. I want more information. I appreciate the information. I appreciate the symptoms. I appreciate the signals I'm getting. I'm anticipating more information. I'm anticipating letting some time pass to show me more." If you're not able to shift into that from concern into something a little more curious than concern, then your guides are saying, please at least set a timer on how often you just go headlong into concern. That, you in your mental body, you have the ability to l- manage your attention. So please minimize just wholesale focusing on the concern all the time. Let there be concern, let it have a time and a place, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then turn your attention toward the other things in your life that are creative and life-giving. It's not if you have a concern, whether it's mild or great, I'm hearing it's not necessary to be focused on that all the time, it does not help. In fact, it hinders your body's ability to regulate and bring balance to itself. So, number one, I'm hearing, should you be concerned? No. Should you be curious? Yes. Should you be open? Yes. Should you look at it from bird's eye, worm's eye, from this side, from that side? Yes. Um, I'm being shown to do a quick physical body scan on your body. Um, I'm hearing that what you're likely to learn over the next month or two is something more localized or a more contained. And what I mean by that is what might have looked as though could be starting to be systemic or something widely spread, it will become known that no, this is just one area that is in need of assistance, and it's kind of sending ripple effects out, but it's not a system wide failure. It's not a system wide breakdown. I'm really interestingly drawn. I'm very much drawn to the neck. I'm very much drawn to, obviously I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm very drawn to, I do not believe thyroid, but I would be curious about some of the glands or nodes or something in the neck. I also feel there's a component about nutrition or supplements or the body's chemistry and perhaps an element that is needed or a supplement that is needed to help this part of the body. Boy, I'm really feeling it here. I'd be curious if you have symptoms here. Um, I'm hearing that overall, when all is said and done, you might understand that this is a healing journey that lasts for about a year or a little longer in terms of, really identifying what's going on and then really starting to affect change and start and moving you toward what is your, next iteration of body health. I mean, so this doesn't look like it's going to be a quick fix, which is not bad news. Actually, I'm hearing that it is you're okay to let there be a gentle, informative approach. This doesn't need to be hurry, 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 eradicate, fix, wipe it out. Better to have some patience and learn more. That shows a kindness to your body that your body will appreciate. That's interesting. I really love doing medical intuitive readings. It is such a joy and sometimes almost humorous to tune into people's bodies. For me, um, I can go in and talk to different organs or systems in the body. And I tell you what, years ago, I was surprised to learn that people's organs have personalities. They have identities. Someone can have a funny liver. Someone can have, um, a childlike ovary. It just, I love our physical bodies, and sometimes when I'm doing a medical intuitive reading and I encounter a an organ who has a lot of personality and a lot of things to say, like, "Can you stop doing this?" or "Can you do more of that?" Um, I always wish so much that my clients could hear their insides like I do because I just think if everyone might could start listening to their internal, um civilization, it's kind of it reminds me of different continents, like the each organ is a different continent, and the cells within each organ are the population, and they have a lot to say, so that's how it sometimes looks to me. Okay, oh, thank you. Someone let me know that you're all able to see all the posts. It's public. Thank you. I'm hoping one of these days I master YouTube better and I know these things better. Maybe with practice that will happen. Okay, I am going to shift gears here and do this really special shamanic practice. I think you'll really like it if you kind of stay with me on it. So, um, what I'd love for you to do, and again, this will just be 5-10 minutes, I think, tops. Um, I'd like for you to think about something that you're ready to let go of. And it can be a behavior, it can be a memory, it can be a belief, it can be a relationship. It can be something really small or it can be something really big. But the key thing is whatever you choose for this, you need to honestly and truly be done with it because this ceremony, this ritual is going to ask you to tell yourself this story one last time. Feel all the feelings, whether it's grief or anger or frustration or whatever it is, go deep into it. I'm going to drum and you just in your own self, your own inner awareness, and don't kitchen sink this. Just pick one one thing, and one thing you are ready to retire 100% forever. If you don't if you're being really honest with yourself and you don't come up with anything, that's okay. You could just kind of have this experience if you want. It won't take long. But I would wager I know I have things. It would not be hard for me to find a grab bag of several things I would be ready to retire. So what this looks like is I will start drumming, and if you've never experienced shamanic drumming, um, it will. I find it to be lovely cadence. It will somehow feel probably natural in some way, even if it's the first time you've heard it, because shamanic drumming matches the tempo of the electromagnetic pulse of the earth. And I find so fascinating about that is that this shamanic state of drumming, this particular monotonous cadence that is meant to elicit a bit of a trance state. Um, as this has been practiced for tens of thousands of years, long before we had the technology to have science name or put a number to that frequency. But what we know now is that drumming matches the pulse of the earth, and which is, of course, perfect to me. And I love that because in some belief systems, the core of Mother Earth is populated with grandmother ancestors who are beating the drum in the core of the earth, and that's the heartbeat of the earth. And there again is that pulse. And I love the interrelatedness and the different interpretations of this thing that we share, which is the pulse of our planet. So I will be drumming to that cadence just for a short time. And that just gives you an opportunity in your inner self to review this thing that you're ready to let go. And one last time, go into it. If you have a belief that the world's going to end and this is the thing you want to retire, I know that's a big one, just as a very broad example. Spend the time when I'm drumming going and go into it. Just go into it, feel your feels, and then I'm going to ask you to give that all focus all of that you want to retire into a stick, an actual stick. And this is the stick. And so I went on a bit of a um, spirit walk quickly outdoors near my home today and asked if a stick would be willing to come forward to hold all of our stories tonight, all of our stories that we're ready to release, all of our stories that we're ready to stop telling. You want to focus that when you're done feeling it, when you're done remembering it, when you're done identifying it in your inner world, you're going to focus it into this stick. And then when we're done, I will rattle over the stick to seal all of our stories in. And then I'm going to break the stick in half. And then later, after we've said goodnight, I will uh, return one half of the stick to Mother Earth and the other half of the stick to Mother Earth in places that are not an eye shot of one another. And that's going to be the end. And it's quite simple ritual, but a thing to remember about shamanic belief, again, cross-culturally speaking, not necessarily identifying with any one people's. This is a belief and a practice that shows up again and again in different communities. But generally speaking, particularly in contemporary shamanism, but also in traditional shamanism, this is not symbolic. Doing something like this, putting your story into the stick and breaking the stick, which means the story's done. You no longer tell that story either to yourself or to others. It's done, and done is done. It's not a symbolic done, it's a literal, actual done, and then it behooves us, as we return to our worlds, it behooves us to have the internal discipline and commitment to hold up what we've done. What we've said is important, meaning, you don't tell that story again. You either, walk away from the situation where normally you would say that same old thing again, or perhaps you go to a family meeting or a bunch of coworkers and everyone's telling the same story again, but you have decided you're done telling that story. You're done living that. You no longer need that. Um, you just walk away. You walk to a new story. If it's an internal belief that you're wanting to retire, if you find yourself going to that same old thought process, then, exercise your internal leadership and say, "Oh, no, no. Remember, we turn now to a new story," and compose a new story for yourself. This doesn't have to be hard or um, mysterious. It's just some beautiful, strong belief work and commitment that you make just to yourself. You don't have to tell anyone else. Um, but I would say, though, because shamanic practice is literal, and the our spirits ask us to, as much as we can, to uphold our commitments. Just be really ready to do this. And so, maybe a few of you, if you don't mind, could just hop onto the chats to tell me, yes, I've got the thing I'm going to retire, or I'm ready. I'll give you, if you need a few more minutes or a few more seconds. I don't want to start the drumming till you're all ready. So to recap, what you're doing is choosing one thing that you're ready to let go. And you're going to focus on it one last time while I drum. You're going to feel it. You're going to verbalize it, or you're going to talk to yourself about it. You're going to go into it big time, one last time. And while I'm drumming, and then at some point when I can kind of feel that the drum has done its work, then we'll switch and I'll put this in the camera view. And I want you to take all of that energy, all of what you're wanting to retire, and just beam it into this stick. And this stick has offered itself to do that. So does that, just let me know if anyone doesn't understand or has any questions. If you don't mind hopping on, that would be great. But it looks like someone said video froze. I hope that's not happening. Okay, look, I'm ready to let go. Okay, great. Ooh, thank you for verbalizing what you want to let go of. It's not necessary to do that. But there is something, when we share something literally in circle, there is a certain power to that. Again, not necessary for you to share with us what you're letting go, but it's kind of neat. Thank you for sharing that. I'm ready to let go of a certain recent belief about my body. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna hopefully the video is not freezing. If for any reason the video freezes on your end while I'm doing this, it's okay actually, because I've got you here energetically and the drum can still find you. You can still do the practice. Hopefully it will resolve. But it's okay. You're here. We gotcha. Even if I'm frozen on your end. Okay, so oh, you know what else I just heard from somebody's spirit? Even though I need to put the stick down in order to do the drumming, I'll just place it right in front of me. You've seen it. You've identified it. It's a beautiful stick with some moss on it. Even though I'm gonna put it out of your eye shot, you can still start and whenever you're ready, you can start beaming, releasing, um, your story into the stick, even if you don't see it on camera. It will you'll it's right in front of me, so okay, I'm gonna move the mic a bit so the drumming's not too twangy on your end. Okay, so when the drumming begins, go ahead and one last time let yourself tell yourself the story, let yourself immerse in what it is you're gonna let go of just one last time. Okay, I'm not doing a callback beat because I want you to stay in the zone of the drum beat. Just keep hearing that drum beat, and I want you now to shift, make a fist with your hand, and on your heart, I want you to tap your heart in that drum beat. It's okay if you don't exactly know the drum beat. I want you to keep the energy going around this story by tapping on your chest. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in. And I want you to start breathing that thing you're going to release into your tapping fist. I just was given this direction from Spirit to say to you on your end, where all of you are, tap, 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 drum on your chest, drum on your heart, and start to release what you're going to release fully into that fist. Release the story, the belief, the memory, whatever it is. Start to channel it, focus it, release it into your fist that's tapping your heart. And when there's nothing left to release, when all of the emotion, all of the words, all of the beliefs, all of the thoughts, when they're in your fist, I want you to raise your fist. I'll give everyone a few seconds. You want it all to release into the fist, and I want you to hold it right here. And I'm going to lift the stick, and I want you to imagine that we are in person sitting in a circle, and you've got this story in your fist, and you're able to walk up to me in the stick and place it in the stick and walk away. So take a moment with that. Okay, and I'm wrapping this up. So if any of you still need to release your story into the stick, go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to rattle over the stick, and that's going to seal in your stories, each of your stories, each of the things that you released. They are in the stick, and that's where they will stay. And the rattling seals them in. Okay, breaking the stick, breaking the stories. One piece will be returned to the earth in one spot on the planet, and the other piece will be returned to the spot on the other side of the planet, not too far apart, but not an eye shot. And it is done. And I want to say to you, very good work. Very good work. Thank you for whatever this was for you and in whatever way you participated. Thank you for doing such good work because this frees you. And the more you feel free, the more you are able now to fill the void with new stories, new creativity, new health, inspiration, new thought. That helps all of us. When you have cleared a space in your own being that is no longer useful, uh, and you put in its place something new, we all benefit. So thank you. Thank you for your good work. Okay. We're about an hour in, and I think that if you guys are up for it, I'll do a couple more questions. Um, But before I head into that, I would love if any of you want to just make any comments about your experience or just to say you feel like it was done and completed. I'd love just any kind of feedback just for a few seconds here if anyone wants to talk about that. Oh, thank you. Got a message. Video is fine now. So thank you for that. Well, so, okay, I'll go ahead and move on to just a couple last questions before we move toward closing for the evening. So, now I'm going to ask you a favor. If you have typed in a question and it's scrolled up and it's been a few minutes, if I'm not going to take time to scroll back, so I know it may be a little bit of a hassle, but if you would like me to consider your question here in the next few minutes, please retype it. Um, that would be really helpful for me. Thank you for your feedback. We've got, and now I know you can read this yourselves. I couldn't decide and chose the more important issue to let go of. Happy for that. Thanks. Good work. Beautiful work. You can trust you went with the right one at the right time because there would be no other way. Whatever you went with is by its nature the right way to go. Holding the fist up took the belief already out of me. Oh, thank you for that feedback because that, um, I got that message while I was drumming. That was we needed each of you needed to drum on your hearts to work with the story. Okay, here's a good one. Here's a question. Next place for me starts with B or C. I get C. That's the first hit I got. Um, Another question. Oh, before I go to the next question, I love this comment. When you broke the stick, I thought it's that easy. Wow. Yeah. So things that are good are easy. We tend to make things mysterious or complicated or always elusive. And the best medicine's very simple, very quick. Spirit wants us to get back in the game. Clear mind is possible, free heart, open heart. And so good medicine's often really quick, really simple. It doesn't need to take years. Um, okay. Any messages from my mom? Let me see. I just don't yet know what this means. I just heard a bell. I feel like your mom just picked up a bell and rang it. Oh, she just changed it from a little brass bell into now it's a crystal bell. She likes that better. Judging. She talks about she's aware of the times when you are judging yourself, and in her opinion, it's judging harshly. And she says, and she points to her ear and says, "I hear all that. It sounds like discordant music to her or something. You know, she's tied to you. You guys," she says, "we're in sympathy. I'm sorry, symphony. You and she are vibrationally connected. So when you're emitting a discordant vibration caused by judging of self, self-recrimination, she hears that and she's like, "Oh," um, she's kind of ease. She wants to just wrap you up, um, in that ideal mother sense of, um, you know how mothers in an ideal sense, we all love that feeling of someone who loves us just the way we are, no matter what. I mean, and crazy loves us. I feel like she just wants to wrap you up in that. She talks about a younger female living connected with you, and something about the grace of this younger female, and that both of you, in your own ways, embody this grace. I feel like for she seems to be quite literal when she's talking about the younger female. Almost makes me wonder if this is someone who actually dances. Um, and there I feel like your mother is saying too, there's something for you to observe and learn about that, returning grace into your movement, into your body, and grace into your thinking, and let those be, in concert with one another. I feel like she just was saying goodbye, but then she points to a male in spirit. To me, this looks like an older male, so it feels like a father figure to me, although appears to have been quite elderly when he passed away. Anyway, she says, "He's here too." And he kind of tips his hat. And now they're backing out because they're your mother's saying, "Well, we were told the rules. We can't talk for very long in this setting. Meaghan put a timer on us." I kind of did, but I didn't think anyone was going to see it. Anyway, she saw the timer. Um, Yeah, she's stepping back now, but she just hopes that you will remember that, blanket of unconditional love, that is that mother love, that even though she can't do that with her arms, that healing salve of a mother's unconditional love, she just gifted you with that in a blanket. Okay, I hope you guys are doing great. I'll do one more and then we'll move into closure for this circle. So let's see. Okay, here's a question. Do do you have a message from my brother Gene? He passed away a few months ago, and this is for somebody's mom. Somebody's it looks like somebody's mom is asking this. Do I have a message from your brother Gene? The first thing I feel like I'm being shown is his thought about you. He shows I feel like he's rifling through my head and picking out trying to find terms that would help me understand what he's trying to convey about you, and he shows me the Queen of Wands, which is a card in tarot decks. It's one of the royalty cards, and the Queen of Wands can mean a lot of things, but I feel like he's highlighting the meaning of how, internally strong a Queen of Wands is. You know, she's a queen for a reason. She's not a princess. She's been through some things, she's learned some things, and she's grown quite powerful because of it. And he just took a crown and he lays it on your head and says, "You are the queen." And he just is, there's some humor there, but he seems to want to acknowledge your strength. He wants to underline that your strength and courage, like you deserve a medal, strength and courage. He shows me you as a young girl, um, and um, something about him enjoying, either observing you or being around you as a young girl when you were playing. I feel like he just keeps showing me this feeling tone you had about the world when you were younger, this playfulness, this easy laughter. Um, I feel like he would love for you to return to that or recapture that. I feel like he's saying, "This all goes so quickly, and there's no reason for any of us to not be able to feel or at least sometimes access that play, that lightheartedness." And I feel like he is aware that, all of you are here, and he's saying there's not time to forget to feel that wonderment, feel that wonderment about you never know who you're going to meet around the corner. You never know what good news you're about to get. He seems to want to be saying, please, all of you, move a little more freely in your lives. As an aside, I'm just going to comment. I'm appreciating that he's speaking to all of us from his vantage point. Um, but it makes me wonder if maybe in life he liked to be a bit of a center of attention or like to perform, because it's interesting. He shows me he's so aware of those of you who are, still with me watching, that he wants to convey a message. I think he's aware this is the last question of the evening, and he wants to kind of convey a message to all all of you who are watching, all of your ancestors and guides want to say. He knows he has the mic for the last question, and he wants to say to all of us, please, please, please tread lightly in your hearts whenever you can. You all get too serious. This is not so heavy. He's saying, remember, this is the story of your life. So write the story well as you can. And now he says, goodbye. So, okay, I'm going to wind us down. Thank you for that question. I hope that was helpful. This is someone wonderful, your brother Gene. He seems to have a wonderful heart, and um, I can still see him over here, even though he said goodbye. Okay, last quick thing. He says, I'm going, are you okay? Is there something I should say? Is there a message you want to get to your family? He says, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. We're all fine. It's great up here. So he seems to have a lot of humor. He seems to be really well where he is. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Thank you so much for your questions and your beautiful energy. I so appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I always love spending time with you like this. Even if I can't see you in person, I sure can feel you. I just want to just remind you, as you might know, you can find me on my website. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I like very much to offer on my social media, things that I find helpful. Hopefully, you will too. So if you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you might check that out. I tend to like to connect with you all there. If you ever are interested in seeing or learning more about all the things that I do, my website's the best place to go, meganoleary.com. On the books and article page on my website, I've been putting up some new articles that contain channeled information that I've been receiving in channeling sessions, and I'm sharing the content of that in some articles, and I have found that to be really helpful and interesting. So that might be something you like checking out. As you probably know, or some of you know, I offer psychic medium readings. I offer shamanic medicine healing sessions. I offer past life regression. I have a book out. I'm working on another book about death and dying and the afterlife. That's still probably a year or two out, but I'm deep in it now. So more books to come over time. So again, thank you so much. I so appreciate all of you in community. If you would just take a moment, I'm going to close out the session, close the psychic door. So then now when you go back into your own worlds, you'll just be all ready to go. So just take a moment, hands over your heart, take a nice deep breath in. A whole creator, mother, father, God, all that is, spirit guides, allies, ancestors, power animals. Thank you as always for all of the good healing medicine that came through in this circle. Thank you for the ability to come together in these sharing ways. Thank you for all of the beautiful help and assistance and love that was shared by our non-physical allies. Creator, spirit guides, allies, ancestors, power animals. We close every door that was open, and we say this circle is now closed. Aho Mitakuye Oyasin. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and whenever maybe you're watching this, just enjoy your life at this time. And I look forward to meeting with you again in this way. Sometimes I do it here on YouTube. Sometimes I do it on Instagram. Sometimes on Facebook. So I don't know, but I will always announce it in my newsletter, my mailing list, and social media. So if you liked this up, I tend to be doing these about once per quarter. I'd love to see you here again next time. And until then, bye for now.